Well, hello everyone and welcome to Shift Report. I am your hostess, Janie Garner, and we're not having any shenanigans today. It's taken me a couple of days since this part of this story broke to be able to even talk about this incident, but now we're going to. We're going to talk about this incident now. There's been a lot of talk, I guess, and not a whole lot of action. And a lawsuit has been filed. You may remember that 2 nurses were taken hostage on May 13th by an armed gunman. Apparently, I'd like to point out that I'm not in any way downing law enforcement officers, but I'm going to say that this one deserves his badge stripped because apparently it was a Kane County Sheriff's officer who was guarding this inmate who was who took the officer's gun and proceeded to take a nurse hostage. And then the nurse was brutalized for 3.5 hours, and raped. So she was brutalized and raped for 3 hours. And the officer ran into another patient's room and hid when the inmate got his gun. He didn't reshackle the inmate because he said he might have to go to the bathroom again. Are you serious? So he didn't shackle the dangerous inmate and did not immediately notify anyone that a nurse was taken hostage by an inmate. He took no action to attempt to regain control of his gun or to protect hospital employees walking the floor. So, after grabbing the officer's gun, he walked into a nursing office, took a nurse hostage, and demanded she take off her clothes so he could put them on because he was naked. Forced her to remove her clothes, threatened her, physically abused her, and verbally abused her. When another nurse entered the office, Salter let the first nurse leave while taking the second nurse hostage, eventually moving her to a decontamination room where they would stay for more than 3 hours. During which time he repeatedly beat her, forced her to remove her clothes, violently raped her, threatened her life, verbally abused her, and held her at gunpoint. Because the sheriff's officer didn't even notify anyone initially that this man was on the loose. And one of our sisters was raped and brutalized by an inmate. So eventually, negotiations failed, though what we were negotiating about is beyond me, and a SWAT team entered the area, and one of the officers shot him. One of the officers was also shot in the vest, but was uninjured, which is more than we can say for the nurse. I'd like to point out that it was reported that the nurses involved in the incident were unharmed. Unharmed? Are you kidding me? Held at gunpoint and raped and beaten for 3.5 hours. Unharmed? So let's talk about what needs to happen here. First of all, well, yeah, I had heard that, Eric. I didn't say it because I'm not sure if it's true or not. Yes, that makes me angry. It breaks my heart. I want so many people's asses for this. Why is this not all over the news? Why isn't it all over the news? Do you want to know? Because, I don't know. Big groups like the American Hospital Association can influence the media. If she was scheduled to work the next day, admin probably said she had to work, probably. Can you say PTSD? I knew you could, thank you. Okay, so she was shot, okay. So what I'm saying here is there are several things that did not happen that should have happened. Okay? One, oh wait a minute. You don't leave an inmate unshackled in a hospital. That is rule 1. You never turn your back on the inmate, and they're always secure. 100% of the time. Always. And because this crappy ass sheriff's deputy or sheriff's officer, it says, I'm just going to call him a deputy because that's what comes out of my mouth, decided that he was going to leave the inmate unshackled, well, guess what? A nurse was raped and brutalized for 3 hours. You sorry son of a bitches. And what happened? The hospital comes out with, oh, the nurse was unharmed. Nurses were unharmed. Your ass, the nurses were unharmed. This is a PR nightmare for you because a friggin' inmate was running your hospital for 3.5 hours with a gun and brutalizing one of our sisters who will never be the same. Heather says she'll probably never be able to work again. Probably not. And you're solving your PR nightmare? How? The nurses were unharmed. No, they weren't. And at least one of them was harmed so badly that she will never, ever be herself again. And you're going to call her unharmed? And you're going to pretend it didn't happen? And maybe you're influencing the media. It was reported that the cop was watching videos on his phone and wasn't even watching the prisoner. So first of all, whoever this person is, he needs to be fired and never allowed to work in law enforcement again. Second of all, for reals? Okay, so if your local law enforcement can't handle the security of a prisoner, guess what, hospital? You're in the bag for it. So maybe we need to have double security on these prisoners. Maybe we need to have hospital security, armed, and then whatever security the inmate brings with them. Because apparently we can't trust them to keep us safe. March on Delnor Hospital for nursing safety. I gotta tell you, I'm tempted. Hopefully she will get enough that she won't have to. Not that they could ever give her enough. No, they can't ever give her enough. They can't give her enough of anything. Because she has been brutalized. Her entire worldview changed. It took probably way less than 3.5 hours. How dare these people? Good old boys club rules. This time it didn't work out. Yeah, see what I think is that we're going to have double security. Yeah, our hospital security wasn't armed in our own building. I work for the VA now, so we have an armed police force who are not security guards. So, believe me, I don't worry too much in there. Also, the veterans never give us any trouble. If that hospital's administration personnel were in that situation, I would bet they would be mentally harmed. Yeah, exactly. To say that the nurse was unharmed is possibly the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I'm down for the march. I've had my hand broken and been thrown over a chair. It's ridiculous. Nothing is ever done. Nothing is ever done. I was punched directly in the face by a patient because she didn't like what we did for her in the ER. So then she said she wanted to kill herself. Well, you can do a suicide watch at the jail, but they refused to arrest her. She had no mental health history. They refused to arrest her and told me they were going to send her to mental health court, which is, of course, nothing compared to the fact that this woman was raped and brutalized at gunpoint for 3.5 hours. How can we do our jobs when we know we're not safe? Because we're not. What happened to our sister tells us that we're not safe. Curious to hear the spin on how it's the nurse's fault. Some protocol wasn't followed. I'm sure they'll say. Exactly. I'm sure somehow it'll be the nurse's fault. And the most trusted profession, see, isn't important enough for big news. Like she was raped. Like she was brutalized. Like he pistol whipped her. Because all that's in here too. So really? So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What happens with the next time you get an inmate in that bed? Is the correctional officer or the deputy or the police officer going to leave them shackled to the bed? Or are they going to watch videos on their goddamn phone? What's going to happen? Yeah, and ran down the hallway and into a patient's room to hide. To hide. Well, a nurse who takes care of everyone, no matter who they are, how much money they have, what color they are, takes care of everyone. But she was unharmed. Make sure you remember that. Unharmed. Hospital. And be clear, these big organizations like this, they can control the media. So what do we do? What are we going to do about this? We had a resident break a nurse's arm and they didn't do anything because he had dementia, but they did when he injured another resident. Well, sure, because you are replaceable and you're a line item. And you don't make us any money, but see these patients that were charging $4,000 or $5,000 a month to be in the facility, now they make us money. Probably had good insurance. We need to start sticking up for ourselves and join together. We'd be such a loud voice, they would have no choice to finally listen. You're absolutely right. So why aren't we doing that? Because our sister in Illinois, who was brutalized and raped, and I keep saying those words because I want to make them ugly for you, okay? She was not sexually assaulted. She was brutalized and raped. She was beaten and raped by an inmate. Oh yeah, imagine if this inmate did that to another patient. It would be a different story right now. Oh yeah, it'd be all over the news. But because it's a nurse and big hospital organizations can keep shit quiet, we're not hearing anything about it. Carrie Catherine, when we asked for bulletproof glass in our ER registration area, administration said it wasn't good for customer service. Seriously? Yeah. See, there was this sign in the last ER I worked in that was on a light background and it was glass and it was written in white about how they wouldn't put up with people being nasty and violent toward their staff. You couldn't even read it. Because, customer service. We can't do that because everyone is too damn upset about not getting a damn discount for a haircut. Word, Rose. By the way, I don't go to that place. That nurse is a hero. She activated the emergency alert system and got him to take her to the decontamination room because it would expose them to the least amount of people. So let's not talk about the fact that she was brutalized and raped on national TV. Let's not talk about that. Because, see, that would make people start listening to us. So let's just suppress that, which is what's going on here. If this was a patient in that hospital, there would be a public outcry. But no, it's just us, and we can take it, right? We can take it. We can keep taking it. We can keep taking being beaten and taken for granted and brutalized, and in this case, raped and understaffed and, in some cases, underpaid and bullied and all these things. We can just take it, right? When are you going to have enough? When will you have enough? No place in a hospital is safe. The suicidal patients can be on a regular floor now with a sitter that has zero training, and we know that most SI patients are drug addicts that are something because they're not getting their drugs. We all know how violent these people are, but zero protection for anyone. There are a lot of people who have had substance abuse problems who also have emotional problems. And hopefully they're not violent. We need to push for federal punishment for all assaults against nurses and medical staff. It needs to be standard in all 50 states. Absolutely. And instead of fighting back, nurses are leaving. Are you going to leave? Are you going to let them throw you out? All of you guys say it's not just a job. It's not just a job. So are you going to actually let somebody take your vocation from you? This place is Delnor Hospital, right? Should realize not safe for other patients either. Well, that's a damn shame. However, they have a special freaking responsibility to make sure that our sister nurses aren't raped in their decontamination room. Am I right? Being guarded by an armed officer. The inmate was in the hospital since May 8th when this occurred on May 13th. He was hospitalized for 5 days for eating his plastic shoe. We kick patients out who have great health insurance after 2 days. This scumbag was in the hospital for 5 days. Yeah. We have mandatory harassment training at my work, but it's mainly about harassment from coworkers or abusive residents. Yeah, we beg people to let our CHF patients stay in the hospital for 2 or 3 more days so they don't wind up bouncing back. But, you know, an inmate can stay there for 5 days because they've self-swallowed a plastic sandal. Okay, guys, I don't mean it like that. All right, I don't. That was ugly. Slap Janie. Bad Janie. So what are you going to do about it? That's the question. What are we going to do? If I do something, are you actually going to become involved in it? It's the height of hypocrisy that we preach safety in interpersonal relationships, that verbal, emotional, or physical abuse is never permissible in a relationship, and yet we tolerate it. Where's the cop that ran away and didn't even call for backup? She was in that room for 3 freaking hours with a violent criminal. Do we have any Illinois nurses here? Are there Illinois nurses here that would join me in a protest in front of that hospital? Or in front of the Kane County Sheriff's Department? Would you join me? That's the question. Because I think we owe her something. I think we owe her our support, and we owe her doing something to ensure her safety and our safety. She was told over and over she would only be leaving that room in a body bag. Can you imagine what that was like for her? Can you imagine what that was like for her? We have to do something. Your sister nurse, brutalized, raped, held for 3 hours. Officer ran away from her, left her to a violent criminal to be brutalized. And the hospital reported that she wasn't injured. How about the nurse is in serious condition? How about that? Emotionally, maybe critical. And we have reached critical mass. We have reached the limit of what we can take here in the United States as nurses. We have reached our limit. This is the boiling point. This is the boiling point. I'm so ashamed to still be sitting here in my chair right now. What must she be feeling? What must she be going through? Hospital reported she was just fine. I don't know, who owns that hospital? Some locals. Do you guys know who owns it? Well, first of all, you guys can help me by, I can get more coverage and more views if I cast from the main page. So, if you can follow the main page, that would be helpful. Somebody throw that link in here. If I cast from there, it's actually a lot better. Yeah, no one should go through that shit, Tony. It's unbelievable. This happened to one of your sisters. Northwestern Medicine, is that associated with Northwestern University? Are you serious? Is that Northwestern University? Ian, are you okay, sweetheart? Yeah. So, brutalized and raped a nurse for 3.5 hours because an officer ran away and let an inmate get his gun because he didn't shackle him back to the bed. And oh wait, he was watching videos on his damn phone. This is the height of disregard for other human life and, frankly, your profession. Oh, Red Book videos. Thanks, Colleen. We probably don't need that one. So, this is the height of disregard for you and for your profession and for your safety. And you know what? It happened, and it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Be on the right side of history. We're going to have to do something about this. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for this nurse. I'm heartbroken for her family and what she will go through for the rest of her life. No, Jill, I don't miss you. I just spent 8 hours in an office with you, for God's sakes. If it's Northwest University, we should protest in Chicago. We should. But if it's not, honestly, we need... Oh, Jill, a nurse was brutalized and raped in that kidnapping last month, well, May 13th. And the hospital, of course, reported she was just fine. They are partners with Northern Illinois University. So if you feel like I see, Northwestern Memorial Healthcare, I see. Okay. So we need to get out there and do something. Tony, you gonna go with me? You gonna come with me? You know, almost 1,000 nurses joined us in DC to fight for staffing ratios. And if I can't get 5,000 to go fight for a nurse who was raped and brutalized for 3 hours, I don't even know why I'm here anymore. If I can't get 5,000 nurses to go fight for a nurse, for us, for everyone. For everyone. You know what, Heather? I don't know anything about that. If anyone is a colleague of this nurse's and wants to send me a PM so we could send her cards or stuff, we would love to do that, of course. But what we need to do is we need to make a stand. We need to make a stand. Yeah, Eric, you're local, so I'll need you. Northern Illinois. Okay, it's different. All right. They were very disrespectful by not reporting that this nurse was injured. And they're even more disrespectful for not commenting on the ongoing litigation. Because, of course, they filed a lawsuit. Damn right. If they gave her every dollar that they were ever going to make, it would never be enough. For the I'm going to tell you something. I'm at odds. Do you protest for the sheriff's department? Do you protest at the hospital? Where do you even protest? Because it was all so wrong. All of it was so wrong. All of it. It's disgusting. If I can't get a ridiculous number of nurses there to help fight for our safety, I don't even know why I'm here anymore. You know, I am a nurse advocacy kind of girl. That's what I do. You know that. I work and fight for you every day, every single day. Yeah, this isn't fighting for staffing ratios, which is super important, by the way, but it's fighting for your life. I saw one report that said the nurse was also hit with the bullet that killed the animal. Yeah, I heard that too, Laura, on here. I hadn't, we have all been assaulted in one form or another. Do you know what I was just thinking? How about a nurse's Walking Dead march? Basically what we'll do is you take an injury that a patient has given you and you can put it on yourself like a costume and we can go march. Show them what they've done to you. What's been done to you. And why safety in hospitals is so unbelievably important. We're going to need to organize this fairly quickly. I'm disgusted. What's she going through right now? Guys, honestly, I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this for 2 days, but I haven't been able to because I was so upset. They don't care unless they have to pay you and end up looking like a bad guy. Right. Got hit by a patient last night. Everyone acted like it was normal because it is normal. It is our normal. And it is escalating. The violence toward nurses, the violence toward healthcare providers, toward EMTs and paramedics and techs in hospitals and CNAs. It's escalating because people think it's okay for us to be hit. Can we make a hashtag and have nurses post their pictures? Don't rape the nurse. Is that a good hashtag? I've had enough. Have you had enough yet? If you have had enough, then plan to be making a trip to Illinois. Sad, I see officers relax with inmates on their phones or sleep. I was told I was overreacting when I addressed it. You're not overreacting. Intimidation to the point of bullying. Are you ready to make a trip to Illinois? What area of the state is that in? Christina, I was jumped on and assaulted by a patient 3 months ago. I'll be the first one to talk about safety. Geneva, but where is Geneva, Colleen? Is that a suburb of Chicago? Or is it? Yeah, we need to do it at the actual hospital, I think. And maybe, so I wonder if we could march from the sheriff's office to the hospital. I wonder how far away it is. I'm down. We have off until Monday. If you let me know, Janie. About 40 minutes west of Chicago. Well, I get hit regularly on my placement. No one ever helped. I have scars. There is a huge conference center not far from there, Geneva, Illinois, about 40 minutes outside of Chicago. I've been kicked into a wall New Year's Eve with a soft tissue injury where I hit the back of my head. I had a headache for weeks. Oh my God. Oh God, Monica. It's about a 5-minute drive between the two, so maybe we could just march down the street to the sheriff's office and ask them why our sister was raped and brutalized for 3 hours. Could we do that? Maybe? It could be you next. You could be next. You could be next. I could be next. You know that cute little new grad who just freaking finished training? She could be next. Or he could be next. 3 hours being held at gunpoint and brutalized and pistol whipped and apparently shot. I don't know, Christy, I'm sitting here thinking it's got to be soon. It has to be soon. Very soon, like within the next couple of weeks. Sean had his nose broken by a patient. I was kicked in the sternum by a patient. We have to take a stand and say we won't tolerate it any longer. Yes, Chandra, we do. I was bitten in the arm so badly, still have the scars, praying for this nurse. Her life has changed forever. Her life has changed forever. 42 miles, 50-minute drive from O'Hare Airport to Delnor Hospital. Monica, I am furthering my education to leave the bedside. I dread